Welcome back to another tutorial by MEA Technologies. Today we're going to be going through the simple setup and adding of a Emstone NVR to the CMS program. So CMS is a central monitoring station app which works on Linux and Windows. You can also add it to your Android or iPhone as well. Simply, we just have to add the NVRs that we want to monitor. We'll be able to then have a live view of those systems. We can have remote search, we can have backup features, so you can manually record data to your local computer. You can have sound and audio play. You can view all events that are happening, like license plate recognition, people tracking, the works. I've got here our office unit here. You can either add it through an IP address or a dynamic address or a public address. It doesn't really matter as long as it's got the correct IP or name details along with the port and HTTP port. To add a new machine, we just go up to the top left hand corner. We click on add new host. We can name this anything we want. I'll just do test for example, and the address. I've got another unit in the office here that I've set up for this purpose. And then the port and HTTP port I've left default because I haven't adjusted those on the NVR. If you have changed settings, this is where you would make sure that they actually match. You'll notice sometimes if you don't add both the port and HTTP port that's on the NVR, then you either won't get live view or you won't be able to remote search footage or something like that. So just make sure these details are correct. And along with the username that you want to actually use to access that NVR as well. So by default, I'm just going to use the admin account and the password we've set up. If you're allowing this to your customers or to particular users, you might have set them up an individual account where they only have access to certain cameras. If you don't want them to have access to all the cameras, you only want them to access 10 particular ones or 3 particular ones. You give them the details there, and then they'll only see those cameras that they have access to. We'll click up apply, and we've got it in the list here now as well. So pretty simply, we can just double click that, and it'll open up a camera window. So here we got it on this side here. So it's a pretty simple 4x4 grid by default. I've already populated all 16 cameras slot spots available for the NVR. Just with a demo camera. We can change the grid layout by going in the top left hand section here. We can also change it by adjusting the number on the grid columns as well in the rows. We have the option to do camera switching, so this will act as like carousel, where if we have camera 1 highlighted or selected, and then we can enable camera switching to go through one camera after another. You can choose to resume or pause the camera switching if you have it enabled. We can fit the camera image to the area, which depending on the resolution of the camera, you might have black bars either on the top or the bottom of the screen. So this will just make sure that it fills in that void so you don't have those. Choose to have the OSD show and disable. This will grab the camera names that you have on the NVR itself. So if you've named this a particular one like front entrance or reception or fridge, kitchen, whatever it is that you've got, this will pull those details across as well. If your cameras do have a microphone or two-way audio, you can listen to them just by clicking, and you see how it's red highlighted. You can just click on there and then it will enable that microphone and you'll be able to hear the feedback. You can also then do two-way talk to it if it supports a speaker. You can choose to record cameras locally to your computer where you have CMS running, so you can choose to record all of them or just one of them. That's really up to you. There's an option in the settings as well where you can have constant recording of any machine that you have here, so you can act as like a backup if you wanted to manually record what's recording on the NVR already just to your local computer. You can take a screenshot, so it'll take a high resolution screenshot. And you can also connect and disconnect to all the hosts available. You can do a remote search. This is where you review footage that's been backed up to the NVR, whatever's been recorded there. And then we also have PTZ control. So the PTZ, if you've got a PTZ enabled camera, You can click on there, and then we've got the option here to actually adjust and use that as well. That's pretty much it for a basic setup for CMS. We'll go a little bit more in depth with the features available on this program later in a different video. It's just, this one was mainly just about adding and viewing the cameras themselves and just making sure you got a correct connection to your NVR. So the main thing is really that you have the correct details here as well. So just your IP address, dynamic address, or public IP address, whatever it is you've got, and then you've got the ports selected as well. If you can't seem to access it through these ports, just make sure on your main gateway you've actually forwarded these ports or enabled UPnP. It's probably best to change them to something obscure, just something that's not default. You can change them to anything you want, just make sure they match the NVR side as well, and whether or not you have SSL and TLS or HTTPS enabled as well on the NVR. Just, you got those options to enable and disable that as well. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. Also comment below on any other particular videos that you'd like to see from us. If you need any help or anything like that as well, please, you can contact us on meatechnologies.com.au. There is a contact us box there, or there's our email address as well at info@meatechnologies.com.au. Thanks for watching.